We're live. Let's talk about truck stuff. Let's talk about strategies. Let's talk about the spot market. Talk about the 123 low board, or talk about you. Right after this, couple of minutes, we'll be back. Yes. Good morning. What's up, everybody? Phone's going off. I'm going off. Fixing a few things. But good morning. I hope all is well in your worlds. I know I say that, but I truly do mean that. A happy trucker is a happy trucker, right? Are you guys happy? Are you guys productive? Are you guys doing okay? Let me get some. CDN sent me an article. Let's see if I can find this thing. But so it's a light week. Hopefully you've got your Thanksgiving strategy. If you're going to run some long miles, make sure you land in a good spot on Wednesday, and just know that things might get sketchy. I have a lot of let's see here. I have a lot of things going on at home, so this won't be a super long live feed. I know I was 10 minutes late. Forgive me. But we had to, I don't know, just not motivated today. I got a lot of stuff to do that's outside of the dispatch realm because a lot of drivers have gone home for the holiday, and so dispatch is kind of light. So I'm going to work on some safety stuff. I'm going to work on some organization. Then we have a couple of personal issues I got to deal with at home as well. One of them is the sale of the trailer. Yes, you heard right. I have sold the trailer. So, wrong email, I guess. Got a pretty good price on it. So, but that's not official yet. It's not official. So it should be official by tomorrow, hopefully. So, and people are like, well, why'd you sell your trailer? Well, because of the current struggles in the market, I would rather use the money now to solve a few issues I have going on at home. And this dream of leasing out trailers is put on hold for now. So I might get back into it. We'll see. There's a few other things that we're working on, helping out with the brokerage, helping out with dispatch, and a couple other things I've got going in the works. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Just want to kind of sit on that money for a little bit, and wife needs a new vehicle, so we're gonna deal with that. And so, but anyways, how's it going, everybody? Let's see here. Let's do the comments. My name is Nobody. Good morning. JF Trucker. Good morning. Flatbed Trucker. Good morning. CDN Freight Broker Trucker. Good morning. DIY Semi Trucker. Good morning. Happy Monday. Yay trucking. Boo trucking. It's a little bipolar there, don't you think? Pigtail, what's up? Tolga, good morning, folks. What's up? Let's see. WCF Invader, Dispatcher King, Turkey Connoisseur, Safety Madman, and the man that mastered the owner op game. Morning, Lord of Snore. I like how you always spell morning like you're mourning something. Speaking of morning, the correct spelling, we've got our Iron Maiden mug chock full of nuts. My parents used to buy that chock full of nuts coffee all the time. I know this is riveting and important. And I had never had it for myself. Since I was a kid, I guess. And I decided to try something new. They still put coffee in a metal can. That's kind of cool. So, and it's an Iron Maiden mug, so it makes it even extra cool. Truck with T-Bone, good morning. Still waiting to do that drum off, sir, which you're going to win. But cold, dreary morning. The weather's kind of doing its thing, so just be aware of that. I believe some of the mountains are starting to get some snow, so just be aware. We can actually put a map up. Let's see if we can find the map. National Weather Service. Let's put this screen up on the screen. Up on the screen. Sorry, had a flashback of lyrics. Let's rock, says T-Bone. Let's see. So not too much winter weather going on. You got some going on right here. So what's all this? Let's see what all that is. Dense fog. Man, if you're colorblind, this map is kind of pointless, but luckily I can differentiate some colors. I'm not colorblind, by the way. Sometimes I feel like I am. Frost advisory, heavy freezing spray warning. So, anyways, what's the brown one? Lake wind advisory. So a little bit windy out there, a little breezy out there. So if you're light, just keep an eye on that. But nothing major going on. That surprised me. I guess like Grand Junction had some snow. Like, of course, Colorado's doing this thing, but I thought there was some stuff going on in Maine. Maybe that's later this year. Definitely later this year, but probably later this week. So, so if you're traveling or driving, or you got family members driving, so just be aware of that. I'm a bit rusty, but I need to hit things with sticks. Yes, I am rusty too. I think the last time I played around with the drums was the last time I did it on, I think it was like doing a pre-show live show for Pale Rider. That's kind of what I do. All right, so here's an article that CDN sent me. It's from Freight Waves. Equilibrium of supply and demand closer than we thought, which is interesting. So this is the Logistics Managers Index, transportation capacity. I have no idea what that is. I'm sure I could educate myself. But let me read this article. When the LMI, transportation capacity component, falls below the transportation price figure, capacity is relatively tight. When the inverse is true, capacity is generally loose. The past few months are trending towards another flip that may suggest equilibrium supply and demand is closer than we thought in the transportation market. So, in other words, they're saying because of these indicators here, and here, and here, that so basically these two lines collide, and that's when rates start picking up for us, for the drivers. And it looks like they're on the same course. So, the LMI is a diffusion index based on surveys of more than 300 supply chain professionals measuring various components of the transportation logistics space. Values above 50 indicate expansion, while sub 50 readings are indicative of contraction. The most recent reading for prices was in October was 44.4, indicating that prices were contracting but at a much slower pace than 28 that was printed in April. The October capacity value was 56.7, which was down significantly from the 71 that occurred in May. All right, so here's something I've got from this. As you can tell, over the past 5 years, there has been little balance in the transportation markets, moving violently from very tight to very loose. COVID can be blamed for most of this. The 2017-18 market was also very tight, but was considered a black swan type event at the time, type of environment at the time. Now, 2017-18 is when they mandated ELDs across the board for everybody. The reality is that economic stability or stagnation, depending on your perspective, of the post-2009 recession may have been the real anomaly. Economically speaking, there are more questions than answers that will keep companies on edge and more prone to erratic behavior, especially in shipping. So, what that boils down to is they don't know what the hell is going to happen, right? They think it's going to go this way, but they're not 100% sure. In this past week's Freightnomics, Zach Rogers, assistant professor of supply chain management at Colorado State University, a contributor to the LMI, talked about how shippers have reverted to more of a just-in-time pattern of shipping as demand remains uncertain and warehousing costs have increased. He also cited how Yellow's exit has seemingly helped accelerate the perception of a decline in available capacity and prop prices at higher levels. One thing that isn't clear as to what scale this is occurring. So here's your outbound tender rejects. This is when we were, making coin, and then of course you could see that it's down here. Let's see, tender rejection rates, which measure the rate carriers reject or turn down requests for truckload capacity from their customers, bottom in May as well and have been trending higher since then, suggesting that the correlation between Yellow's exit could be spurious, fancy word there, to some extent. Regardless of reasoning, there are multiple data sources painting the same picture. Capacity is tightening, although still not enough to generate disruption yet. The larger question remains around just when will freight markets participants feel some noticeable and more consistent service disruptions. So let me see. Let me scan through this. All right, it just talks about sonar. Possibly the most uncertain aspect of predicting a freight market turn is the underlying economics. The advanced release of the Q3 GDP produced one of the most disconnected values in recent history in terms of economic perception. The 4.9% quarterly growth figure seems somewhat unbelievable in the context that it would normally be considered a value that is indicative of an economic boom. But the Federal Reserve economists seemingly dismissed the figure and consumer confidence declined. The consumer spending that fed the figure has become increasingly leveraged with credit card debt, and the labor market is showing signs of weakening as people are having increasing difficulties finding employment as continued claims have hit their highest value since 2021. In the near-term future, the gap between the two LMI figures may reverse course over the winter if traditionally seasonality returns. January and February tend to be the slowest months of the year for shipping. This would push demand down, widening the gap between capacity ceiling temporarily. The gap between the LMI capacity and price figures has shrunk from 41 to 12 over a 5-month period. The sheer momentum suggests that we may be closer to a market flip than we think, but the longest yard is always the last one. So in other words, they don't know. And the feds, the Federal Reserve is doing everything they can. Everybody go check out that book. Mrs. A, if you're in here, say the name of the book. So, but anyways, you can look at that as hope if you want, but in order for that hope to amount to anything, a lot of people are going to go out of business. And credit card debt is going to actually it's going to have to reach a maximum. So if you're living off of credit cards now, then it's probably not going to be a good time coming up. So that's the gist I got from this, is that there's some starting signs of hitting the bottom, seeing the flip, but at the same time, they're still predicting January and February to be pretty desolate. So Red Monkey Trucking, look at you. How's it going, man? I got a really cool pedal I've been messing with. Thanks for the article, CDN. I'm expecting and planning on even worse rates coming January, February, but I hope what that article reference is correct. Love getting insights from you. Let's see. Heading to New Jersey. Yahoo. That sounds fun. Russell Freight Services. What's up, everybody? Everyone, sorry. Currently picking up my load up in Minnesota. Headed back to Kansas City, Missouri for some home time. Good deal. There you go. The Creature from Jekyll Island. I didn't want to get that right. I think that's the author is Edward G. Griffin. So make sure you check that book out. So it's the Boss ME 80. So it's pretty cool. So oh, hey, I not discovered, but I want to put out there a trick with JB Hunt. Okay. And now you can sit there and make fun of JB Hunt. You can sit there and hate them all you want. That's not the whole point. The whole point is if you're bidding on one of their loads on their app, this is a trick. One of our drivers did not know that, so I had to educate him. Which is what I try to do. I try to help our drivers and find them. I mean, if they're dispatching themselves, help them get the best rates possible. So JB Hunt, JB Hunt 360 is a common app that a lot of drivers use to book freight. Now, genuinely, their rates are fairly low. So if you're looking at a 30-day average in a lane of $1,000, they're going to start their bidding at about $550, $600. So there are several tactics at play here with this click and go bidding app, and I'll get into that. So one of the things that you notice is if you put a bid on a load, if what it will do is when does your bid expire? So let's say that there's a load out of Rogers, Arkansas that picks up today let's say it picks up Wednesday, right? Let's say it picks up Wednesday and it's on the board today and it picks up between 7 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Well, if you bid on that load and you don't change the bid expiration time, it's going to put the bid expiration time by default at Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. By that time, it's too late to pick up the load. So, thank you, computer, right? And if you're 100 miles away and you've put a bid in for it to expire at that time, you're kind of SOL. And by Wednesday, you should have found the load anyways. But here's the thing. So when I've been on a load with JB Hunt, I give them 15 to 20 minutes. And if it's something that picks up in 2 days, I know that they're probably not going to move a whole lot. But see, the more you bid, the more you can see kind of what the computer analytics are going to do, what the computer algorithms are going to do. And they'll go up an odd amount, usually small, like maybe $20, $30. But if they need it moved, they're either going to counter with a decent rate, or someone's going to call you. Hey, I saw that you had that bid. Our max is 1,000. Blah 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 blah. That kind of thing. But you also have to be aware that there are people like bidding on these loads, and sometimes the lowest bid is lower than you want to go. Still put your higher bid in, because that person might fall off. That person might book something or take their bid away. And I've done that. I've actually bid higher than the lowest bid and actually gotten the load. And so understanding their system is important. But yeah, put the expiration date for, like, if I was trying to book this load on Wednesday, I would put the expiration date of today at, what time is it? I'd put it for 8 a.m. And then while I'm waiting on that bid, I'm going to be looking elsewhere. I'm going to be also looking. That's the beauty of what I do, is I can have emails out while I'm making phone calls, and I've got a couple of bids on the click and goes to help the drivers out. But if you're trying to book a week ahead, you're not going to have much leverage on that. So just be aware of that. A lot of systems, like JB Hunt, CH Robinson, they're not even the agents can't even mess with it until it's about 24 hours away. So playing the last minute game. So, Marty, I didn't see you sneak in here. What do you see in for all miles on van to reefer? I don't know what you're asking. Okay, let's go back to Don here. Have you had issues finding decent loads out of Kansas City? It's gotten quite difficult for me here lately. St. Louis market, for once, has been better than the Kansas City market. Sean says, big bowl of cereal in Massillon, Ohio. Carb Rebel. Yeah, it's a great pedal. Let's see. Fun after no. All I run is KC to North Dakota. Tennessee won. It's not all the Fed so much as it is $2 trillion a year to run the government and entitlements. No politicians wants to run on cutting the budget, right? Well, that book's interesting. I have not read the book, but my wife did, and there's a lot of things in there that kind of explain a lot of things economically, and I'll just know that the system is against you and me, all of us. So, but Marty, if you can clarify your question, then we can get to it. So, but anyways, that's a little trick for JB Hunt. I generally don't use them a whole lot, but I can always I look at them every day, and I can generally tell when they're more desperate to move a load than another. Usually if it's got a decent rate on it, there's a reason, just like any other broker. So just keep that in mind. So, inflation, the hidden tax. Come on with it. Thank you very much for what you did last Friday. Thank you very much. I really, 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 really greatly appreciate it. That's going to help out quite a bit. So I appreciate that. You are very generous. Thank you. Tolga, what's up? Tolga says 100. All right, so let's get to 1, 2, 3 low board here. I will be doing a recorded video, hopefully soon, about questions you should ask. Here's what I'm thinking. Let me know. Give me some input here. I'm going to do a recorded video of the questions that you need to ask yourself before you decide you want to be an owner operator. I'm going to record that video and then, but I want the live feedback. So what I'm thinking about is instead of trying to do the video live and getting it derailed, that I would make the video and then do like a live reaction to my own video. In other words, play the video out so it stays on topic, but then, it'd be in StreamYard, and then you guys and gals can add your 2 cents and have questions as we're playing the video. So the video is never derailed, but we can kind of get into it. Is that something you guys might want to get into? Is that something that might be cool? Or is that like dumb and what happened? Or is that like dumb and I should just give up this YouTube thing? Which one? There's no middle ground. I'm afraid if I do it live, it's going to get derailed. I've got these questions written down and everything. So you're welcome, you help the community. I try what I can, right? Thank you. My name is Nobody. Yes, he likes the idea. Flatbed trucker, that would be cool. All right, cool. As soon as I get some stuff straightened out, maybe that will be a video I can record at night and then maybe go live like Tuesday night, or, well, maybe not Thanksgiving night because everybody's going to be watching football and stuff in their faces or driving. But I think that, I think it's a good idea. So, all right, cool. I'm glad 2 people, their vote counts more than everybody else, so we're going to go with it. So, Don says, Russell Freight Services LLC customer freight is definitely the way to go in this market. I'm slowly working on getting some direct customers. There you go. That's all right. So let's go to the 1, 2, 3 low board here. Let me do one more thing. Let me do this here. Do 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 do. All right, so we're going to get the DAT board up here first. I use more than one low board. Really? So, all right, so these load ratio counts, national load counts, this is per van. So this is a good thing that I look at on Monday morning. Now, here's the caveat to that. Here's the asterisk. A lot of these loads are repeated. A lot of these loads, you might have one broker that post it 20 different times. And I hate that when I look at it, there's 18 loads coming out of an area and like 17 of them are by the same broker with just a little bit difference in the cities on the pickup and destination. And so a lot of these numbers are off, right? But what I'm looking for here is the trends. Like here, for example, California, there's 2339 loads going in and 1990 coming out. Now look at Georgia, 1803 going in and 1796 going out. That's not too far apart. So that means outbound rates should be getting a little bit better out of Georgia. Iowa looks good. Look at Illinois, 1450 in and $22.87 out. Now, when it's that lopsided, guess what? If you want to go from Georgia, Illinois, they're not going to pay anything because they know you're going to get it coming out. That's what this AI pricing does. That's what all these analytics do. That's what all these ELDs and all these big corporations that contribute this information, that's what they all tell them. And so as a broker, you want to maximize your profit as much as you can because that's what drivers do, right? And if they got machines that will tell them, hey, there'll be a peak amount of trucks in Atlanta between 12 and 3 today, then they could price accordingly. Now, here's evidence of that. You might be like, Steve, you're full of it, right? So Friday, I was looking for a load for Don, and because he had a last minute cancellation, and we called on this load. I called on this load for him, and they were at $600. It was a shorty, and Don didn't want to do it below $750. Meanwhile, the lane value was around $750. So, Don wasn't like asking for anything insane. And with the deadhead and the other load that he had, that's what it needed to be. Okay. So I called this dude up, spoke very clear, great English. We chatted for a second, and I said, hey, I'm looking at this load. Meanwhile, they got it posted on the DAT board for $600. And I looked at 1, 2, 3. They also had it posted there for $600. And this load would have been for, which was it, Don? Tuesday and Wednesday or Monday and Tuesday? I can't remember. But, and this is important, right? So the broker, we wheel and deal, and I asked for, $785, hoping that he'd come down to $750 or even $700, which I think Don's limit was $700. So as he's like, well, let me talk to my boss, can you hold on a second? Yeah, and I can hear him breathing, so I know he didn't put me on hold. So I was like, yeah, man, looks like capacity might tighten up a little bit next week because everybody's going home for the holidays. I mean, I've only got one truck to dispatch, yada yada, kind of giving him the what for. And he goes, yeah, man, tell me about it. I have 50 loads that I got to move just for Monday alone. He goes, I don't know how I'm going to move them all. So he had just admitted to me that he was going to be challenged finding trucks. So you think that me, who's willing to cover one of these loads, would get, I'd be a welcome sight, right? So he goes, well, my boss, can you help me out a little bit? What's the lowest you can do? And so finally I'm like, okay, how about 700? Which was the target rate for me. And he goes, okay, hold on. Now, he just told me that he had too many loads on his board that he was going to have trouble covering. And then he comes back and goes, man, my boss says I can't go above 600. He won't even let me do 650. I'm like, all right, thank you. Have a good day. He admitted to me that he had too many loads and not enough trucks, but yet he still wouldn't go up on his rate. Why? Because his boss told me he wasn't allowed to go back up on the rate. Even though he was the one in the trenches, even though he's the one that's got to deal with the drivers. And he even said, man, I would love to give you 750. That's what it should pay. He actually used that term, but my boss is only, at 600. And he's not the only broker that's ever given me this wording. So But notice what I did. I was like, I was trying to use the holiday as leverage. Like, it's going to be hard to find a truck next week. We've got one now that can cover this load. We won't cancel on you. It's going to be a good deal. And he still wouldn't come up on the rate. He still couldn't come up on the rate. And he used terms like, yeah, we're blowing our budget up with these loads anyways. Like, so this whole let it sit on the dock kind of stuff, well, guess what? They're doing it. They're letting it sit on the dock. So you can't be all puffy chest and like, let it sit on the dock. Well, guess what? They're going to do that. So now what? Come up with a solution. So that was Friday. Now I've also noticed Friday at 2:00, I lose all leverage, even if I'm booking for Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Like no one is negotiating past 2 or 3:00, unless it's a load somebody fell off, which those are kind of getting harder and harder to spot. So just know, right? That's interesting. You should try it and see how the interest is. Josh the Vegan, what's up? Good morning from South Hutchinson, Kansas. Can the AI create a tri-haul for most profit? Yeah, for the brokers, probably. I suppose looking ahead has its pros and cons too. It does. When capacity is in the driver's favor, then the last minute stuff can really work. Depending on what area you're going. Like if you're taking a load, go back to this DAT. If you're taking a load into Illinois, you can hold out probably. But see, here's the thing with waiting until the last minute. You're looking at a lot of the stuff that no one else wanted to do at the last minute. So it's all going to be all Florida. It's going to be all Washington State. It's going to be all Maine. It's going to be all like Miami. It's going to be Laredo. It's going to be that kind of thing. It's not going to be like Columbus, Ohio to Chicago, Illinois. That stuff's already gone. Or Columbus, Ohio to Joplin, Missouri. So Tuesday pickup to Wednesday delivery says, oh, yeah, that's what we were looking for. Sterling, good morning. Buck Brown, my fellow Snorelordians. Snorelordian. I can't say that. Problem with this particular customer is that the freight is just in time freight and has to move that day. I assume they wait till last minute to put money on the load. And that's true. That's the cons of booking ahead sometimes is that if they don't have to budge, they won't. So that's just how it is. Basement boy, is it peak season, my dudes? Supposed to be, but there's already signs of it declining. All right, so let's take a look. This is for all trailers. Let's go to van. Let's take a look what's happening around the country. A lot of yellow in van. Let's see. Texas is green. Missouri's green. Wisconsin's green. Again, green doesn't necessarily mean good rates. Just makes it easier to find a load. Here we go. $235 a mile, $1,000. Go from Milwaukee to Urbana, Ohio. And that picks up today. So there's your last minute load. 1 minute. It was literally just posted. Oh, my internet's being slow. Picks up today, delivers tomorrow 8 a.m., 425 miles. Probably talk them up $100. Packaging material on PLT. And of course, Ohio looks pretty good coming out. Ohio to anywhere there's 249 loads. Urbana to anywhere there's 423. Urbana to back to Milwaukee is 58. So there's quite a few loads. About $40 in tolls. So you're looking at $1.11 a mile profit, $4.72 for the day after fuel and your carrier's percentage if you're at 80%. We can eliminate this. I think I have to go into settings and so. But so there's a last minute deal. Probably someone dropped off over the weekend. So here's another one: Seymour, Missouri, or Seymour, Wisconsin to Flint, Michigan. A little bit lower, a little bit heavier. Waukesha, Wisconsin to Memphis, Tennessee. Did you guys see the video of the FedEx truck that was robbed at the intersection in there in Memphis? Like they literally blocked it in on purpose and opened the trailer door and just ransacked it. Sterling says FedEx hasn't let me know yet if it's peak season. Most of the brokers I work with are repeat customers of mine. Most of the time, due to my history, they will let me book at a higher rate than most other carriers, right? CB says if people become as intolerant to magical thinking computer technology as they are to immigrants, we might see things improve. Barbara Vidal. Hi there. Are the loads posted on 123 different than those on the DAT board? Yes and no. Some are posted on the DAT as well. And some are not posted on 123. So there are like Load Smart does not post on DAT, but they still post on 123 load board. So it just depends on the brokerage. So member for 1 year, gobble gobble. Sterling, thank you. Cargo theft is way more common than people think. We had a driver that they actually cut that little tab that you put the lock on, so the lock was useless. And luckily he had something that wasn't like you're not stealing huge, 2-ton bags of powder. It was like some kind of fertilizer or something like that. So snowing in Cheyenne. Yeah, it's going to get interesting out west there, Mr. Red Monkey. So I saw that you got a different gig going on there. These guys in Memphis were just home delivery express workers. Those guys in Memphis, it looked like a sleeper truck. That was being broken into on the trailer there. So, but anyways, let's see. That's what Wisconsin looks like. Let's say, let's look at California. Let's see what's coming out from the west. Let's sort this by highest rate. See where all the long haul stuff's going, what it's paying. 5,800 in van to go to Tully, New York. Picks up today. Lodi, California to Lodi, California to Salem, Virginia. 5,600. So they're good. They're getting above $2. Coming out of Cali. Of course, it's all going southeast or northeast. Not quite $2 to go from San Lorenzo to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Let's see. But then we got $1.52 to go from California to York, PA. Let's not. Let's take a look at that load. Just for number one, it picks up tomorrow at 2 p.m. and it doesn't deliver until Monday. They've got it at $42.23, $1.52 a mile. Meanwhile, Cargo Chief's got it at 58. Hell, even rate checks at 48. right? So now I've taken out the dispatch fee or the carrier percentage, but you're looking at your profit before carrier's percentage, 49%. Or 49 cents, sorry. I was looking at the percentage sign. So it's 1368 for literally a whole week. Now, throw in 20%, you're at $524.19 a mile. So now it's California. So you didn't get it going in. Let's say that someone booked you this load. So how many of you are willing to work an entire week for $524? And this is just after fuel percentage and tolls, $121 of tolls. This is why people are going out of business, because that's not sustainable. And look at their credit, 62 credit score. They're not pre-approved by Thunder. Central Marketing Transport Services. So just something like this, I don't even call or email. So see a lot of stuff for the 30th, a lot of stuff we're already into December here. So when I see a lot of that, that means that, so if we can sort this by posted age. So that'll give us all the stuff that's today. And if this is a low number, or not posted age, pickup date. A lot of stuff for today. These are old postings though. 8+ hours, 1 hour. That's not too bad. So there's some last minute stuff coming out of Cali. Now your highest rate per mile, I guarantee you, is probably going all up to Washington, Colorado, or Oregon. So let's sort this by rate per mile. Or Arizona. 416 a mile to go to Arizona, $1,900. Fullerton, Corona to Henderson, Nevada, $800, $327 a mile. Here we go. Aurora, Colorado, $3 a mile for $3,000. So that'd be a good weekend run, but then you're fighting Colorado's market. None of this is going to Ohio. None of this is going to Indiana or Illinois or the Midwest at all. This is all Colorado, Washington, Oregon, Wyoming. None of it's going cross country. So when you focus on just rate per mile, this is what you're going to look at. This is what you're going to see. But if you focus on rate per day, then your highest rate will be your metric you want to go by. And that'll give you the long haul stuff. Depends on what you want to do. It depends on how your business is set up. Maybe you live in California. Maybe you live in Washington. So you make your money going into Washington. Then you take your hit down to California. So the highest paying load is 204 a mile, 5,800. Everything else is 56, 55, 5,200. And hardly any of that's breaking $2 a mile. Now, if you're at $2 a mile and you're making 80% at your carrier, that's only $1.60 per mile. So, those guys in Memphis were just home delivery express workers. I mean, the robbers, joking. If it snows ever again, I'm going to be upset. Well, you're going to be upset. What's the schedule this week? You doing a show Wednesday and or Friday? Friday, no, but Wednesday we probably will. Depending. That might be when I do maybe that's when I'll do the owner operator thing. When it quits snowing in Nevada, I'm moving there. I know a guy who mortgaged his home to get into trucking a few years ago, currently living in an apartment with 3 kids and a very angry wife. Trucking is so worth it. Yeah, Sterling and I were talking about that earlier. I was told by several people when I was trying to buy my new truck, get a home equity loan for that down payment. That was literally advice that I got from people that I thought were smart. And I'm like, no. Even well, of course the dealer said that. Dealer was like, all right, we need another 10,000 down plus your trade in if you want that new Kenworth. I'm like, well, that sucks. He goes, you can't get that 10 grand. It's like, well, I can get it. Hell, I could put that on a credit card, but I'm not. Well, why not? Because I'm not going to go into debt just to go into debt. I'm not going to deplete my business earnings. It's like we're going to have to go look at used stuff. But he was acting like it was a problem for me to have the 10,000. I had the 10,000. I just didn't want to. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. Once you leave the Midwest, you're gone for a minute. Says Mike Nine Toes. Hey, can I make a request for Iowa to St. Louis? So let's take a look at that here. For what platform? Van? Tom just coming in. Start over. You didn't miss nothing, Tom. Mine loads. Van. All right, so let's do Iowa to St. Louis. Forgot I got to put the AI. St. Louis, Missouri. For today, I'm assuming. Today, we'll do today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Apply for van. Done. Search. Not a whole lot, but there's some. Grinnell, Iowa to Decatur, Illinois. Boone, Iowa to Farmer City, Illinois. Ottumwa to Jackson, Missouri. That wouldn't be too bad. That's 60 miles south of St. Louis. They're off of 55. And then Sterling, Illinois to Fulton, Missouri. So you got a few. So let's take a look at this Fulton because I know what this is. This picks up tomorrow. Let's see. Cargo Chief's got about 1059, 15,000 pounds. You probably get a little bit more. It's Iowa. Iowa's not too bad. Must contain the Champaign, Illinois. That wouldn't be too bad. Champaign's not a bad spot. A lot of it's going to Illinois though. Nothing going directly. I think O'Fallon is probably the closest to St. Louis that you're going to get. Picks up tomorrow at 3 p.m. Delivers next day at 4 a.m. They're at 950. Cargo Chief's got it at 970. tortilla strips, so it's going to be light. Must have hours to hit. So you're looking at how many miles is that? 347, so about 7 hours of driving. And of course, as you can see, they're adding loads constantly. So it may not look great now, but they're adding, as you can see. And so this one just popped up for today. Shell Rock, Iowa to Terre Haute, Indiana, which is a bit of a stretch from St. Louis. Look at the rate on that, though. $6.75, $1.53 a mile. How about no? Cargo Chiefs got it at $11.57, almost double of what that is. Van flatbed. Okay, here's why. I bet you this is stone. So yeah, bricks. Bricks never, ever, 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 ever pay, ever, ever. This must contain the champagne. Let's take a look at this one. I think my dog's having a bad dream. 676 is the Cargo Chief. Not much info on it. Picks up tomorrow. So if you live in Chicagoland, this might be a good spot to land. Or if you want to run for the weekend, landing in Champaign on a Wednesday could be good. So, but not much profit on that load for the day. So there's your loads there. So thank you for the super chat. You're welcome. Idaho reefer. I haven't looked on at board yet. It was pretty good last week, though. Let's take a look. So first we'll go to load availability. And we'll switch this to reefer. Apply. Let's see. What's a little more? About $100. All right. So Idaho's yellow now. It was green last week. So your highest paying outbound per mile, probably going Pacific Northwest. Cheyenne, 2,700 to go to Cheyenne, 24 to go to Greeley, Colorado. Is this highest rate? Oh, that's highest rate per mile. Denver, Vegas, Phoenix. But if you want to do something long for the weekend, let's take a look at highest rate. $7,000 to go to South Carolina. $69.50 to go to Pompano Beach, Florida. So it depends on what you want to do, Tom. Here you go. You get Jerome, Idaho to Allendale, Michigan. Go visit Jeff. That's 44,818 on the load though, and on the weight though. That's kind of high for a reefer, isn't it? 34 degrees. You're welcome. Thank you for the super chat. $1.99 from Tom. Thank you. Would you would like to see you more. Love the info you share. Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. CDN. Oh, CDN. I would like to see you more. Love the info you share. Okay, so he's given CDN the compliment. Weight sounds average. Thanks. Okay. I thought maybe it was 43.5 as preferred weight of reefer, guys. I didn't know if you guys could do 44.5. Maybe with the Cascadia, but not with a hooded truck. I don't think. So Idaho's not looking too bad. Utah is green. Let's take a look at that. Sort this by highest rate per mile. This is for reefer, by the way. California, of course. New Mexico, which you want to avoid. Oh, here you go. $2.79 a mile, 6,300 to go from Utah to Connecticut. Let's take a look at that one. See what the tolls look like on that. That doesn't pick up till Monday, though. Picks up Monday. Okay. Picks up on Monday. Delivers Wednesday, according to their at 11:30. Now, that's 3 days, right? Am I missing something here? 27th is a Monday. Okay. So even if you get there early, 2,200 or no, 2,255 divided by 3 days. That's 751 miles that you got to do each day. That's funny. It doesn't say it's a team load. I could scale 46. My trailer kind of light though. Okay. If we all just decide to not eat, these rates wouldn't be that bad. Not eating is hard though. Well, let's do overall rate out of Utah. See where the high paying stuff's going. 6,300 Connecticut, of course, pops up again. $2.49 a mile to go to Winter Haven, Florida. You're going to get it in the shorts coming out. 20,000 pounds. Let's see, 23. Quite a bit of light stuff coming out. Louisiana, 245 mile, 4,500. So, but anyways, 48065 is the is the code if you want to try this out. Don't take my word for it. Just do it yourself. And of course, one of these days I need to go over the app because it's been a while since I've actually used the app on the phone. In the app, you're instead of this map, you're going to see this map. You're going to see this instead, which is their version of this down here, like that. So, so, anyways, let's take a look at Joplin Anywhere for today. All right, let's edit this search here. For today. Apply. Search. This is for van out of Joplin. No, this is reefer actually. No, this is van. There's only 5 loads posted. 2 of them are PTI Logistics going to Green Bay. Then there's one going to Salt Lake. Fox Logistics. Let's take a look at this Green Bay load. It's early yet. It's not even, usually this load board don't wake up till about 9 Central. November 20th, 8 a.m. November 22nd, 7 a.m. So it picks up today, delivers Wednesday. 759 miles. So plenty of time on this. 17.5 on the weight. Cargo Chief's got it around 1582. So I think he meant lower expenses by not buying food. Okay. I see. Okay, I see what you mean. CB, how do you propose to not eat these rates? Should everyone just park their trucks, go get direct customers? Gotcha. Okay. So it's all right. Anywho, I think we're done. So look for a new video soon about questions you need to ask yourself before you decide you're going to buy a truck or lease a truck. And yeah, so if I'm kind of quiet this week, there's a lot of things going on at home, so I'll be dealing with that. And hey, thanks for everybody that has subscribed. Thanks for everybody that watches. Thanks for all the members. And thank you for the people that have super chatted and Venmoed and cashed apped. I really appreciate you guys. And the people that reach out to me and talk to me on the phone, and I really appreciate everybody. I'm very thankful. So maybe that's what Wednesday's live feed will be about gratitude, because you might be struggling now. Some of you might be struggling now with the rates and with the low boards and all that, but you're alive. You've got a warm place to stay, and you have the means to make it better. So, take a gratitude check. So, with that being said, thanks for today. Thanks for everything. Strength for today. Hope for tomorrow. Peace.